I listened to the interview with Joe Mixon, and let me start with, how did that interview come to happen in the first place?
Well, he's represented by an agent that I think we both know, Peter Schaefer, who's been in the business a long time, and Peter has been trying to just kind of get the word out, Joe Mixon's side of the story, and I've been very skeptical. I mean, we see the video. It's hard to come back from that video. It's a Ray Rice-style video, and I think you could objectively look at that video and say, man, it's even more brutal than the Ray Rice video. And I had the opportunity to get Mixon on in the past, and I finally decided, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. Let's let him, since this week in Indianapolis he won't be available, to talk to the teams in 15-minute increments, as many teams as would like to talk to him. I'll give him 15 minutes, and I'll ask him some of the questions that teams would be asking, and I solicited from multiple different teams, what would you ask this guy if you had access to him this week? And everybody said what we would do is get to the bottom of exactly what happened that night. So that's how it came to be, and that's why I decided to go ahead and do it today.
Yeah, and you pointed this out. As I'm listening, I'm saying he's well-schooled, because this is what happens, that, the agency will sit him down and say, all right, here are the questions. This is what you need to say. Full responsibility. There were catchphrases that were in there, and you tried to catch him off guard. Did you have a moment where you sort of maybe got to see behind the curtain with Joe Mixon of who he really is?
Well, not really who he is, but whether there's true remorse there, it's hard to get through the standard language that was written by someone else and hammered into his head to be used at the appropriate time. Now, look, if he's true, it could be coincidental and he's truly remorseful. Whether he's remorseful or not, these are the things that he's going to say. And I'd like to have more time. I'd like to have been in a setting where it's not live, where you can experiment with different techniques to try to break through and get a real human moment out of the guy and get to who he is. I still don't understand, and I know, look, it's one bad incident. That's fine. Everybody makes mistakes. I understand that. But I still don't understand why the guy didn't disengage. He's bigger, stronger, faster than the girl who was pushing him. He should have just gotten away from her. Use your arm to block the blow and get away and leave. And that's the problem I have with it. And I understand that it happened, and he says all the right things now, but if I'm bringing him to my city, if I'm an owner, a coach, a GM, I want to be confident that's never going to happen again. And I don't know how you get to the point where you're confident that that's not going to happen when he's out and about on the streets of his next city.
If he didn't have this attached to him, where do you think he'd go in the draft?
I talked to some people yesterday who think he would be a high second-round pick, and I know others would say higher. And it's hard to get to the truth this time of year, too. Everybody's full of crap this time of year because they're strategic. They're full of crap anyway when it comes to football, but especially this time of year when the strategic reality of the draft is in play. But I think high round 2 would be a good target, maybe third or fourth guy if he was clean. But now the challenge is, with him not being clean, which teams are going to run the other way, and which team is going to be willing to take that risk and put his name on a card, and in what round will they do it?
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.